Firstly, I just want to apologize to Che, to my friends, my family, everyone involved in this situation. It's been hard on everyone, and I'm certainly no saint here. I certainly have made my mistakes. So I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm going to just give my side as I see it. So basically, at the beginning, she states that she had intentions to wait until 16 before doing anything. I never got this impression. She never said this to me. She never implied it. In fact, very early on in a Skype call, she said to me, nobody needs to know, when I asked her if she wanted to wait to do anything. So I'm not sure why she said that and why she thinks that, or if she does. And now obviously I don't have a recording of a Skype call from like 2016, but I do have plenty of evidence from very early on in the relationship where she clearly made no intention to wait until 16. That was never clear to me. I never got that impression, and I don't know why she's saying that. She pulls my hand down and says to touch her, which is a pretty long way from how she portrays it in her version of the story. In fact, she was actually the one who brought up the entire idea of doing anything in the cinema. It was her idea, and I had no reason to believe she wasn't as in on this as I was, so I'm not sure why she made it look like this. And I think it's worth mentioning that I thought this was completely normal at the time as well. This is my first relationship, unless you count a like week-long year 9 relationship where the most we did was hold hands on the way home. So unless you count that, this was my first real relationship, and I had no idea what to expect. And now before we move forward, I do want to mention that she mentions in this bit that she's never kissed someone before. This confused me because that's not the impression I had. In fact, when we were walking around the streets of Sydney while we were dating, we passed by like a Woolworths or something, and she told me a story from what happened outside that Woolworths once, where she and an ex-girlfriend of hers kissed in front of some religious guy preaching about gay marriage. So unless she told that same lie to me and a friend of mine who heard the same thing, then I'm not sure why you would lie about that. She also mentions me taking off her bra while she's crying. Firstly, I would never do this. If I ever suspected that she didn't want any advance I was making, I would stop. And also, the way she talks about it in the messages from the time gives the impression that I wasn't even intentionally trying to take off her bra, which I wasn't, so. And then we've got the DMs that she released, beginning with the most bandied around ones. These are jokes, not good jokes, not acceptable jokes, not appropriate jokes, not funny jokes. And honestly, they're probably going to haunt me until the day I die. They are probably the worst messages ever sent by man. But they are jokes, and they are taken out of context and put into a much, much worse one. And at the time, especially in my friend groups and social circles, online and offline, edgy humor like this was cool. It was funny. Obviously, in hindsight, it's not very funny and it's not appropriate. If you told me that these made her uncomfortable, I would be inclined to believe you. And over the course of this relationship, there are plenty of things that I do regret. There are plenty of things I wish I could take back, and if I could, I would in a heartbeat. Anyway, around here, she crops out around 11 minutes of conversation between us, where I apologize and try to get her side and understand how she feels. I wasn't very good at it, but I tried. In the video where she's scrolling through her messages here to prove that they're real, she also goes nearly up to where I apologize and try to understand her point of view, but then quickly scrolls down. I feel like this is worth mentioning because she says that these were the kind of conversations we would have, despite cutting out all the good bits and only including the absolute dodgiest things I say. It's not overly representative of the average conversation we would have if you cut out every good bit. And next we have these messages. I understand how bad they look. They look terrible. But just know, just right off the bat, that I would have and will never force myself on somebody who doesn't want it. That's not who I am. It's disgusting. And I would never do it. Even the version of myself who sent these messages would never do it. What you see in these really embarrassing messages is me trying to articulate how badly I wanted it at the time. Not very well. I didn't have any filter, and I should have thought about what I said before I said it. I'm sorry about saying this. It was stupid. It was thoughtless, and I hate that I said it. I hate reading these now.